Okay, contestant number one, can you hear me and see the timer?
I can hear you and I can see the timer.
Contestant number one, Ashwin Rammohan. Ashwin Rammohan.
Madam Toastmaster, thank you for the introduction. And Keith, thank you for that humorous and engaging story. I really liked how you included a personal experience of yours to share with us today. And I'd like to begin with the parts of your speech that I thought stood out the most. Number one was your use of facial expressions and gestures. I think with a speech like this, where you're trying to explain a physical journey from Michigan to Missouri, where you're encountering all of these physical terrains and imagery, it's hard to describe the feeling of that without going through the gestures and imagery in your voice to really show us what you're seeing. And I really liked how you spent time doing that. For example, you talked about the limestone slurry that you struggled to get through with your bike and ended up having a flat tire. So I thought that very much complemented the details you provided in your speech. The next thing I liked in your speech was how you broke it up into clear sections for us. Yes, it was divided into 4 flat tires, but you made sure to connect those 4 flat tires to the overall goal of the speech, which was to say how you depended or how you learned to depend on different people in your life, whether it's the most random encounters with strangers like the elderly man, or how you can depend on the closest people to you, like your family members, in this case, your wife. So I liked how you made that very clear to us in the division of your story. I do have a couple areas of improvement that I can suggest to you though. The first is, at the very end, you concluded that the lesson you learned from this journey is that you learn not to be self-reliant. And the idea that you can depend on others is okay, and you should accept that. But I didn't think you spent enough time showing us that self-reliant part of you. At the very beginning, you said, I'm very self-reliant, but I'm not self-reliant when it comes to fixing my bike. And that's all you really mentioned about that. But I would have liked to see maybe a personal anecdote at the very beginning, a short anecdote, just to show what's an example where you are self-reliant. What's an example where you're so stubbornly self-reliant that you want to do something alone and not have to depend on others? Because if you show us that first and then contrast it with the story where you learn to depend on others, I think that could have made a more emotional connection to the audience that way. And my second point is related to that. Like I said, you did a very good job including gestures and facial expressions, but I thought a lot of your energy went into just delivering the plot points of these 4 flat tires. So if you had spent less energy and time discussing the specific details of the places you visited and how these flat tires came to be, and you spent more time explaining how your self-reliant personality contrasted with the personality that you came to adopt based on this adventure, I think that also would have helped your speech resonate more with us as the audience. But overall, like I said, I think you did a great job with gestures and imagery for delivering a personal anecdote like this. Your speech was very well organized, and those few areas of improvement to your speech could really make it resonate more with the audience. And thank you again for your speech today.